intro of yourselves. Which is now.
Hey guys,
Hello, Paul from Acoustic Fix.
Joe.
And we're missing Bob.
And we're missing
Shout
you.
out. Shout out Bob. It's with his daughter.
Hey,
Hey,
Bob.
Bob. Hope you're having a good night.
That's it. Did they go out to dinner or something? Or just hanging out in the house?
Yeah, I think they're out. Well, they're having dinner at
Went out for dinner as far as I know.
Nice. Alright, so we'll jump on. Thanks for tuning in to PBFM this evening. We've got Joe and Paul in the studio from Acoustic Fix. Welcome.
Hey,
Good evening.
yeah, how are you?
Thanks for having us.
Good, thank you. Good to see you both again. It's been about, 2 years?
Yeah,
Two, maybe
yeah.
three,
We were just
maybe.
saying before, I think it's about 2 years.
Hey,
Though there's been, just before we went on Rock the Boat last time.
Yeah, how did that go?
excellent.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
You made it before that all stopped.
Yeah, it was unfortunately, it was been the
That's the
last
last one.
cruise so far. But yeah, it was a lot of fun for us in particular. A little bit like kids in candy shops when you get to meet Brian Cadd and Glenn Shorrock and John Paul Young and Ian Meldrum, and you get to party with them. It's
Yeah.
it's a very different world for
have
for
to
us
pitch
little
yourself.
blokes here.
So you got to hang out with them?
Yeah, we did. So and
Even
all
jammed
the
with a couple of them. So yeah,
You
it was
what?
good. We jammed with them.
You jammed
Yeah,
with them as
a
well?
couple of them, yeah.
oh,
And did you give them any tips?
I tried to take as much as I could.
That's it. That's it. And how many were on the cruise?
What does it hold? 4,000?
4,200, I think.
Yeah.
It was just 1 week of partying non-stop.
Oh, so it was a
absolutely brilliant.
week. And you
Yeah.
took your wives too, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
did.
remember that.
Yeah, had a ball.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the kids? No, well, they're all
Oh,
grown
no,
up
no,
now.
no,
They're all
no.
grown up.
Wanted to enjoy themselves.
That's it. Very
That
nice.
was good.
Awesome. So tell us about this show you've got coming up.
Sure. So a little while ago we did an Easybeats show at the Norwood Hotel one night, and it went really well, and we thought we could actually extend this into something a little bit more. So this show is called, it's Friday, and I've got the Easybeats on my mind, and we're going to go through the musicology of the band, a little bit of narrative about what they do, and we're going to finish off with some of the influence of Vanda and Young as well. So we're sort of trying to cover the spectrum within this hour show.
So
It's a bit of a story of the Easybeats
Yeah.
in the 1 hour that we've got to present.
And you're all talking? You're all sort of narrating?
With a little bit of narration, yeah. We're trying to showcase the songs first off,
Yeah.
but to introduce some of the important facts about the songs or the band or the things that happen to them along the way. You've got a band that started in late '64, were top of the charts by '66, and broken up by 1969 and finished.
Gee whiz.
And it's a very short
It's incredible,
time.
isn't it?
And you think of, they were all young guys.
Mm.
Stevie Wright was only 16, 17 when they started. So you go
That's
from
young.
being a superstar at 17 to washed up at 20. And it's like a very different world. So it's trying to tell some of that story that sits in behind the music that they did, why they were successful, and why they failed in that little short period of 4 years.
Yeah. I mean,
They just skyrocketed right up the top, and then and a big slope down. There was a bit of a roller coaster, I suppose.
what happened?
Well, they were big in Australia, so they were basically known as the Australian Beatles.
Yeah.
And so they had a number of hits. They had about 16 odd songs in the top 40 charts in their early days. Like a lot of bands at that time, they went overseas, and UK was their first spot. But their music hadn't evolved like it had in England. So in England, you're going up against a Sgt. Pepper's album, that progressive rock that was happening at that point in time, and they were still playing what the EMI called unsophisticated music, and they refused to release any of their songs and said, no, you need to come up with new songs and better songs.
Yeah.
at that point, Stevie Wright said, I'm not writing any more songs then if that's the way you're going to be.
Mm.
But Harry Vander and George Young, who became the major influence even during the band and afterwards, they saw what the record company meant and finished up writing Friday, I've got Friday on my mind.
Yes.
And so that
Classic,
became an
yeah.
international hit for them.
Mm.
So that was their peak. And then after that, the band started to not get the credits that they really wanted. By the time they came back to Australia to do some tours, they were yesterday's news. As happened in that time, you know, Australians had moved on to a bit more pop music and progressive rock music. And so they became no man land and
Well, the
past
band's
glory.
been was like Snowy, the drummer. He left. They came in. Another guy came in, and it was just a spiral down.
Mm.
And it was unfortunate because they produced a lot of good songs.
Of course, drugs,
Yeah.
alcohol problems.
So that
You know,
played a
those
part too.
those are the things that really hurt.
Of course, yeah.
And Stevie Wright, who had been the front man for the band, could do all the antics, was a great showman, became a heroin addict, had alcohol problems, and so the band became unreliable a little bit, and they just sort of disappeared out of sight, and he went into a large spiral. As I said, by the time you're 20 and someone's telling you you're almost washed up, it's a hard thing to take.
There are a lot of pressures. You can sort of understand how people can go a little bit off track when you're sort of so popular and successful, and then things change and there's challenges. And being young, I think that's the main thing. 17, what do we know at 17?
Yeah.
We think we know a lot, but we're
You're on
really
top
just
of the
starting.
world,
We're learning.
and
We're
I can
learning.
do anything
That's
I like.
right.
I know everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me what to do. I know what to do, and it's just like that. And then it's just unfortunately spiraled down for them.
Along with that, Vander and Young actually became more prolific songwriters, and they could actually play every instrument themselves. So they understood the production side, the recording side, and they actually didn't need the rest of the band anymore. Hence, Flash in the Pan became their vehicle for just producing their own music, as well as lots of other artists that they could mould into artists themselves. So.
It's interesting. So like I said, so you'll all be sharing a bit of the narration, each one of you.
I'll do most of
mostly-
it. I think.
mostly,
Yeah, I'll do
yeah.
most of it and introduce the
Yeah.
songs as we go along. So you know, we will cover all their hits, and we'll cover some of the stuff I said as Vander and Young, and we'll finish up with, of course, Friday on My Mind.
And a few songs that George Van they produce. So it'll be interesting. It'll be good. A few
Excellent.
surprises.
Few surprises. So let's go through the dates.
Yep, sure. So as I said, the show's called It's Friday, and I've got the Easybeats on my mind. So the first shows will be on Friday, the 26th of February, and they'll be at 7:45 and 10 o'clock. And the next two shows will be on Friday, the 12th of March, and again at 7:45 and 8 o'clock.
Mhm.
And the shows will be at the
10 o'clock.
Chateau Apollo. 10 o'clock. Did I say? No, I said the wrong thing. 10 o'clock. And the shows are going to be at the Chateau Apollo, which is on the corner of Grenfell Street and Frome Street. It's a really interesting place, and it has that real old rustic feel to it. It wasn't actually an old French provincial furniture shop at one point in time of its life, but it has that really old nightclub disco feel that we all knew back in the 70s. And we did a show there on Sunday. Everybody loves the venue. It's
The
a
acoustics
really
are really
good show.
good there. It sounds really good.
It takes you back in time, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
When
it
you
does.
see sort of places like that.
Well, everybody that came in saw, wow, where's this place been? They haven't
Yeah.
seen it before, and they were really impressed. So which was good.
Very nice. Very nice. And you were just saying before we sort of started the show about the Garvey, we did a Beatles show with Satisfaction with Paul Sharman, and you said that went well. So it's good to hear that you're doing what you love and it's still happening.
Yeah. The Beatles show was something that we took advantage of. They used to do a Beatles show with another band who are no longer going anymore, and we thought, we could do that. We play a bit of Beatles. So it was a little bit more than what we actually thought it was going to be, but we managed to put a long show together, And
Yeah.
it went really well, you know. We're a different kind of band to most other bands, as you probably know. You know, we don't have a bass player.
That's right.
We just have an acoustic and an electric guitar and a drummer. And we reproduce the sound as faithfully as we can. And most people think that we do reproduce the sound well. But it just sounds different to them. So it's, you know, it's there, but it's not there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's your sort of...
It's our sound.
Yeah, it is.
It was a great night. I mean, it was a sellout, which was good. I mean, everybody was
people?
seated because of
Yeah.
COVID, of course, and every now and again you get the person that will jump up and start bopping away, and then security say,
Really.
sorry,
They're,
gotta sit down, but,
they're on the side of the dance floor,
but,
security,
yeah,
really.
You know,
The
everybody was good,
marshals, yeah.
and
That's
we were
okay.
happy. We got a standing ovation, so we were good.
Nice. Well, how many people were there?
What was it, 250 or
More.
300?
300.
300, sorry, it was 300 was allowed in.
And it was just the two bands? No,
Yeah.
any sort of, I don't know, acts, supporting acts or anything?
Oh, there's,
Gwyn Ashton came on early and did a bit of his blues sort of stuff. But yeah, it was basically just the two bands. I think Beatles and Stones, you know, has that. Enough people love the music to want to come and see people play that sort of music, and you know. Yeah.
everybody knows the songs to their,
Yeah.
the
So-
words to their songs, sorry.
I
It
know.
saves me singing most of them. They can sing it for me.
It's so hard to not dance to that music.
It is.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
gosh.
right. Well, our Beatles show was perhaps a little bit different to some others because we really concentrate on the early Beatles, or when they were a band. So the Let It Be album, their live stuff when they were on the roof, or their early stuff. So that, you know, we could actually produce that kind of sound and make it sound similar to what they did.
Nice. Awesome.
It went well.
How long do you have to prepare for shows like that, you both bands? Like how you got together a few times? And
Oh yeah,
Jams.
many times.
so it's
We
a lot of
practice
prep.
every week anyway.
Yeah.
But a show like that probably took us a good 3 months to put together, learning. You know, you think, oh, you know, we do X number of Beatles songs already, but when they're only 2 and 3 minute songs and you want to play for over an hour, there's a lot of songs you've got to
There
find
is.
to fill
Yeah.
that gap.
Heaps.
So, you know, you need 25 odd songs to play
Yeah.
to cover the show.
That's right. Good effort. It's a real commitment. I know you've all sort of got your other jobs, but you do this on the side. But it's still a big thing, isn't it? It's a big part of your lives.
Oh yeah,
Well,
we love it.
The good news is
Absolutely love it, and that's the key. I think the three of us, you know, including Bob, we just love playing. You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I've retired now, so I don't have to worry about
Oh,
work.
since we spoke.
Yeah, so this is my job.
Good work.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
When did you retire?
Just over 2 and a bit years ago now. Yeah,
What's
so
it like?
retirement.
Retirement.
Oh, I love it.
But
you know
you're
that
busy
that
though,
few-
because people say when they retire they don't stop. They sort of find new activities. It's not like retiring and sitting and watching TV and just chilling out all the time. You still want to be busy. You do things. There's always something to do in life.
No, there's always something to do in life, you know, and I think you change your whole outlook on life, you know. So I become more of a night owl, you know,
Yeah.
and sleep in the mornings, you know,
Why not?
because I can.
Yeah.
I have no clock that I have to run to anymore. So
Party
it's
animal.
it's
So
so
you
much
never
more
have
fun.
an alarm clock on ever?
Oh no, never.
What does that feel like?
Excellent.
Has your wife retired too, or partner?
Well, my wife
Is it- yeah.
said, "Look, you retire and I'll keep working." Well, she's
Really?
worked for 1 week,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
not trying that hard to find a job. But look, we don't need it to work anyway, so it's fine. You know,
Perfect.
and she's actually has been really helpful with the band and helping. This year with COVID, it's been really hard,
Yeah, she's been
Of
really
course.
good.
and we've had to sell shows ourselves and, you know, set tickets up and do
Lot of
things, and
work.
she's been really good at helping me do that. So
She's done
she's
well.
busy. She's been busy.
Yeah, there is a lot to organise with these shows. But you showed me the screenshot of the promo for Fringe, and you said Bob designed the colours.
Yep,
It was
yep.
What do you call that pattern? It's a very
It's like a
70s.
psychedelic. type,
Psychedelic.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
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 But he done well. Yeah, it's.
You see the artist in the group. Yeah.
I think he'd like to think so. Yeah.
No, he done well, and he does most of our posters, so
Yeah.
they're pretty good.
Very nice. Are we going to do a song or not, or should we just wait till your show? Well, it's totally up to you.
Oh, look, we can do a quick song. Yeah, sure. I don't mind.
No worries. Very nice. So we've got Joe in the studio with Paul from Acoustic Fix, and shout out to Bob who couldn't make it this evening. But we've got the two lovely gentlemen here, so we're just going to do a little something.
Yeah, we'll
What
just
is
do a
this?
little bit of
What are
a
we
song
gonna
called Sorry, which was one of their hits back in the mid-'60s. We're a little bit lost without other Bob here as well, but anyway, we'll give it a bit of a shot of what we're going to play.
Thank you.
Mama came this morning, but a message by. Think it was from my girl, think I know just why. Sorry, 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 sorry that I couldn't go last night. Had a date at 7 with a gun and floor. Then I just remembered, had a day with her. Sorry, 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 sorry that I couldn't go last night. Had a date at 7 with a gun and floor. Then I just remembered, had a day with her. Sorry, 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 sorry that I couldn't go last night. Sorry, 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 sorry.
Thank you. Wild. Nice.
Thank you.
Retirement agrees with you.
Oh, you bet.
You bet.
I would reckon.
Your
I would
music
recommend
style's
it.
changed. I'm not kidding. Since when I spoke to you at the other station a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
Have you noticed a difference or not? Is it? I feel like
We still do it. I mean, still do the cover stuff and everything. But lately, like I said, we've been sort of like concentrating on the Fringe show and getting that right, and yeah, helps out all right.
I think in our own heads, in our own background, the 60s and 70s is us. We really
Grown up.
feel that sound, and so that's why those Beatles songs and things like that sit with us. But you know, we love doing all the other modern stuff as well, and you know, the things that we do, Pearl Jam and stuff like that. We love all that as well. But I think somewhere along the line, that's been
Yeah.
ingrained to us. You know what? You know, I know watching all those guys when I was only young. You know, and seeing those bandstand shows and. Johnny O'Keefe, 6 o'clock
Commotion.
rock and things like that. You know, you see
Sorry,
those
all
shows,
right,
you
yeah.
watch them, and that sound sticks with you. You know that sound. You know how to reproduce that sound. So
And if you're going to do it, you got to do it right, and like that's what people like. They hear the song, then when we play it, they know the words, and they know how it goes.
Yeah,
Works
awesome.
out good.
Very nice. No, I only sort of say that comment as well is because people do change, you know. They change their, not change their style, but, you know, we evolve, we change, we grow, we learn new things. Some people, I don't know, I just feel that you're a bit different.
okay.
Or maybe it is,
Oh,
like
no,
you said, the era.
I'll
I don't know, it's
I'll
just
take it as a
what
compliment.
I'm
No, I'll
saying.
take it as a
It's
compliment
It's a
because I
huge
think, you know,
compliment.
For sure.
it's, you know, we have been together for a long time now. You know,
Yeah,
as
of
we,
course.
from since
Yeah,
school days, you know,
that's it too.
and this band's been
That's
going
right.
for 23 years. So, you know, we have grown more and more. And I think, you know, when you hear sounds that really gel and you just feel that in the room when you're practicing, you think, we've nailed that song, that's really great. And then you start to look for other things that follow in with that same sort of stuff. So you feel like, yeah, this is our sound. And we know when we choose songs, the things we really look for are they a bit danceable? Are they known? Do people want to sing them? Because if you can find that combination with songs, you know, they have a great night.
Yeah, that's the
You know.
magic mix. You,
It's
you
the
said it all
magic
there.
mix. You know,
get
things
the
they know.
You get the crowd going, and it's all the way up from there.
Excellent. Very good. So just those dates again, 26 Feb, 7, 45 and 10.
Yep.
And
That's
12th
good.
of March.
March,
12th of
So
March.
45
7,
and 10.
45 and 10.
And just
In case I
the,
got it wrong
the
last time.
venues again.
At the Chateau Apollo. So it's on the corner of Frome Street and Grenfell Street.
Very good, very good. And actually, before we say goodbye, can you just give a little history of your band for those who don't know you? Like you said, you were friends at school and you 23 years, you said, but just a little bit more background so
Sure.
we just get to know you a bit
Yeah,
more.
sure. Well, Joe and Bob went to primary school together, and Bob and myself we went to high school together, and we met. I think we all had an interest in music. Well, Bob and I were learning guitar at the same time, and as you do when you're at school, you know, you play with bands and with other schoolmates that we played with in those days. But when we started to get a little bit further into our music, and after we'd left school, we wanted to go further, and we started to play around the pub scene. Had trouble with trying to find drummers. In the meanwhile, I knew about Joe, and I had played with Joe through another friend in a different band. And so when our drummer left this band, which we called the Outstanding Bills, I said, I know a guy. And Joe joined us back then. And that was a successful band for us around the town for quite a while. But then as you do, you all get a bit older, you get married, you have kids, you know, things change, you can't keep going.
And at
And then
that
as you-
time, the rhythm guitarist left to go to live in England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, that kind of finished that band off. Then as you do, you get divorced and you move on again.
Life happens.
And
yes.
so I was still in contact with Bob, and we were still, you know, got together occasionally. And I said, oh, you know, you're still playing, aren't you? I said, you know, can we just get together and jam just to have a bit of fun and, you know, just give me some outlet
Of
while I'm going
course.
through other bits of pain.
Mhm.
And yeah, you know, he loved doing it. And, you know, and from that we started to get a couple of little gigs because you practice more songs, you know more songs. Then we thought, oh, it'd be nice to have a drummer in the band. That would give it that beat. I think if people want to dance, you need something to give them a beat to. Which is how we met Paul Sharman. He became our drummer for quite a while. But between Satisfaction and us, it got too busy for him. He said to me one day, oh, look, I just can't do this anymore. I said, not a problem, understand. The same week, I bumped back into Joe, I hadn't seen for ages. I said, oh, mate, you're still playing drums? You want to play in a band? And from then on, yeah, it's just been fun. So then, like lots of bands, it's difficult to keep things together unless you're all in tune with each other. And I think that's been our advantage, is that even if we have arguments about music or
Yes.
styles or bits and pieces, you know, we know each other well enough to walk away from it and go, yep, oh, well, that was last night.
Yeah.
Tonight's a new
We
night.
compromise, and you know, whatever's best for the band, that's what we do. So it works out well. And it's just a big, slow progression up that we've had over probably the last 7 years. We've sort of like gone real high, which is good.
Yeah.
And you sort of sometimes you have to sort of like pinch yourself. Again, you know, that we went on cruises, and it was really good, and it's still good.
Yeah. So, you know,
Fantastic.
I don't know when it will finish, but, you know, I'm sure it will finish one day. But in the meantime,
Doesn't have
it's
to
just
though,
fun.
does
Doesn't
it?
have to. Well,
No.
look, you know, I do see lots of other old blokes still playing and
Yeah.
dance, and I think, oh, I don't know what has to finish. You know, while I'm enjoying it, while I physically can,
Exactly.
I'm going to keep doing it.
Oh, McCartney's nearly 80, so we've still got a few more years to go.
Exactly. There's no sort of use by date on.
No, it's good. It's
Music.
good outlet, you know, and it's great.
Absolutely. And that was interesting what you said about the time. You know, that timing was an interesting thing. How you said you caught up with Joe that same week that Paul said he couldn't do it. You know, and I always find those little things interesting.
Right place at the right time.
Yeah, just happen to walk along
Yeah.
the street at the right time and bump into each other, you know.
And it'd been how long since you'd seen each other? How long
Oh,
was it?
well,
I know we see
probably-
each other every now
yeah.
and again.
Yeah,
but
but
you know,
But
like it
it's
had been
just
probably a good couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, even though we were in similar sort of areas, but you know, just hadn't bumped into each other.
yeah.
You know, so yeah, it was good.
good.
All
Very
bit of fun. So
So this show, just one more time, if you can
Yep.
just tell the listeners if they've just tuned in.
sure.
Easybeats.
It's Friday.
Yes.
I've got the Easybeats on my mind. So it's Friday, the 26th of February
Yeah,
at
excellent.
7:45 and 10 o'clock, and Friday, the 12th of March at 7:45 and 10 o'clock at the Shadow Apollo on the corner of Frome and Grenfell Street.
Excellent.
And just for your listeners, as a special, I've got some 4 passes to give away. So this will be for the 10 o'clock shows.
Mhm.
So either on the 26th or the 12th, whichever one they can attend. I'm happy to give away it as a double, but if you're only a single, well, I'll give you a single pass. So, and happy to do that. So what I'm going to do is put up a post on our Facebook page. So you'll have to go to the Acoustic Fix Facebook page, and we'll look for the first 4 responses, and I will get a free pass to our show.
They have to go to your Facebook page.
So they have to. So you have to be able to go to that 10 o'clock show to make sure you get the free pass. But you're going to have to go to our Acoustic Fix Facebook page. And while you're there, have a look through our Facebook page, have a look at some of our clips, and become a fan of the band.
Like it and share it.
Love
Correct.
it and share it. That's what we want.
Excellent, excellent. And it would have been fun researching all this show, you know, to give that sort of context and the storytelling for the audience. Sort of, that's always an interesting part of planning shows
Yeah.
too, researching the bands.
Look, it
that
is
you're
very
gonna be-
interesting because they were, as you say, you know, you've got a super group, the first international stars who, you know, couldn't shine any brighter if they tried, and then could fade out so quickly. You know, there's a whole lot of lessons to learn from that. You know, and there's little things, little side stories. Their first manager was a real estate agent, you know, and a lot of those early bands had agents who were not really in the music industry, you know, and made lots of, they weren't poor decisions, but in reflection
Not the right
were
ones.
really poor decisions, you know,
Yeah.
but at the time it seemed like the best thing to do.
Yeah, there was a lot of that sort of going on back then, wasn't there? Well, it still does, but
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you've heard those stories with
Yeah.
different bands.
People have learned a lot more since then, you know, and they understand marketing and they understand recording processes and getting yourself promoted, whereas back then
And
everything was
contracts,
new
yeah.
and novel.
Yeah, that's right. Anything else you want to share before we finish off?
No, just been lovely to be with you again, Bianca.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
you
you.
Love to
too,
see you
both
again
of
Thank you
too.
very much for having us
Absolutely.
again.
I'd like to have you all back to just get some more music going.
Sure, not a
Because
problem.
that one song was awesome, and it'd be
Okay.
good to have you all back for
Okay.
another live performance.
Would love to do that for
Yeah,
you.
awesome. Thank you very much.
No worries.
worries.
Thanks, Bianca.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Awesome. Thank you. Excellent. PBA and then beautiful. Got all that in. So any hellos or goodbyes here before I turn it off? Thank you both.
See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, cheers.
Bye bye.
Thank you.